What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines. And today we're going to talk about an article we found on NBA.com that was published on April 1st. And the article indicates 10 storylines to monitor during final 10 days of the season. Let's get into it.
So the first topic of discussion is whether or not the Los Angeles Lakers will make the play-in tournament. What are your thoughts on that?
No. At this point, they have what, four more games, maybe? And if they do, I think it's a no. And now that AD is back, how do you expect him to be ready, full throttle, and he ain't played in a couple of months? Like, it's just, let's just be honest. I don't care if him and LeBron put up 30 points. If the other dudes ain't doing nothing and then they're flat on defense, it's a wrap anyway. And then they lose gas at the end of the games. You know what, Lakers? Why don't y'all just go fishing? Like
Oh my God.
at this point, and I believe it really is okay. It really is okay because it's almost like humiliating watching them go for, like fight for something as the play-in tournament, which for some teams it's going to work, but for other teams like them, it's like, why don't you even fight for that when even if you get in, you're not getting out of the play-in tournament? Like, I don't see it. I don't think it's necessary for the Lakers to fight this hard about something that really at the end of the day they're not going to even make themselves out of it anyway. So that's my take on it. What about you?
Okay, no, I don't have them making it. I think they have to go undefeated on the last stretch of games. It's just not going to happen, and you're right. It is humiliating, especially those post-game conferences. I'm telling you, because this last one, when AD came back and LeBron sat next to him, they totally looked defeated and deflated. And, it's almost like, let's just get this season over with. Let's stop the embarrassment. Let's move on,
Let's move on. And why they have to do it together? I don't like. It's almost like it's us against them, and I'm talking about them, the other players on the team. I don't like it. You can tell that the continuity and chemistry is jacked up, and really, if as they continue to play, it's going to be about the other players and where will the trade pieces move because they don't have much to work with anyway. I just am done. And then you think about the last stretch of the games that they have. We're talking about Suns, Golden State, OKC, and Nuggets. What? You know what? Don't do that. I don't like that. Yeah. Lakers, for me, Lakers, it's okay for you to throw in the towel.
So next up is the NBA scoring title for the 2022 season. There's a three-way race between LeBron, Giannis, and Joel Embiid. Now, LeBron needs to play a couple of more games in order to be eligible. See, that's what I'm saying. I feel like you shouldn't be eligible if you playing just 58 games and everybody else busting their tail for, 70, 80 games. It just doesn't seem right to me. LeBron over there saving energy, Giannis and Joel Embiid going to work every night. You could sit up there and miss 24 games and still have the potential to win the scoring title.
Not enough. And so that's it. So we already know that he's going to play the rest of the games. He is going to continue to compete for the scoring title. He has to leave this season with something because it won't be a championship.
Yeah.
So it is only right that he leaves the season with it. And apparently the 30K, 10K, and 10K, he's the only NBA player that's ever achieved this status. Won't be enough because really he can say, oh, I did that. Hey, look at me. It's only me, you guys. I'm the only one that's done it in my 19 seasons. So that's not going to be enough. He got to be able to beat somebody. And for me, the only way he can beat anybody this season would be the scoring title. So, I think it's enough. And then if you think about how close how close it is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if Giannis put up another 40 points, it's a wrap. I mean, but again, LeBron, at this point, we're talking about the last 4 games. He's going to work it with his teammates. Y'all make sure I get the ball.
Yep.
You know what? While Giannis, as you mentioned, and Joel Embiid actually will compete for the scoring title just because they're competing to win championships. So I don't know. I think he's going to get it. It's only fair that he does. It's only fair that he walks away based on his legacy, based on who LeBron is to the league, that he, and it's going to work in his favor. So what? What's your take on it?
Okay, well, I think it might be a little difficult for LeBron to put up 40 and 50 points because Anthony Davis is back. I feel like it was acceptable when AD was out. They had to get the points from somewhere. Malik Monk can probably get you about 20, Russ, 15 to 18. They had to depend on LeBron. But with AD did pretty well in his first game back, scored 23 points or so. It's going to be very difficult for LeBron to go berserk. However, I think he is going to do everything in his power to get a couple of 50-piece games going, So I don't know. I don't really care whether or not he wins. I would like to see Giannis and Joel because they're playing the game the right way. They're just not trying to stuff the stat sheet.
Yep.
But we'll see what happens. All right, so next up is a Kia MVP chase. I mean, right now we're talking about Joel Embiid, Giannis, and Jokic, and some might even throw LeBron in there. I mean, who should win MVP in your opinion?
Well, we did a previous video where we both agreed that it should be Joel Embiid, and I am still going to hold firm to that. However, them last few games that Giannis Antetokounmpo
Oh,
played,
goodness.
boy, when I tell you, in that overtime, for someone who came into the league and did not shoot 3-pointers, to seal the deal on a 3-pointer, the way he played, how you going to dominate in all leader categories on that game?
I'm
Who was that
telling
game
you.
against? It was the
Brooklyn Nets.
And against the Nets. You see how Giannis played in that game?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
no, for real. And I mentioned in the previous video where we talked about our NBA awards, and one of the things I mentioned was that maybe I have Giannis fatigue. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to scale back on that thought because Giannis.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's a tough race, and in order for Joel Embiid to even, he's gonna have to continue. He's gonna have to fight for the rest of the season. Like, Giannis is good, and
Yeah.
then and let me tell you how. And they had the nerve to rest Giannis and the other two, Middleton and Holiday, in the game against the Clippers. Why y'all do that? Because y'all already know that y'all gonna make sure that Giannis extends his energy on the games that matter. And so I'm just like, and then they beat the 76ers and the Nets, like two teams that you will be competing against in the postseason. Like, come on, Giannis. Yeah. So and Joel Embiid out hold firm because but that Giannis, it just may be another one for him. It just may
Yeah,
be.
I know. But Jokic is also in the race.
Yeah, but he's not winning the games that matter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's missing. And Jokic, although he has been fired this season, he needs help. Like, it's just that. So if he's going to win the award because he's able to at least maintain the sixth spot, because they barely holding on. The Nuggets are barely holding on to a sixth spot in the West. But if they're giving it to somebody with much effort and had to do it by themselves, then I would have to say it's Nikola Jokic because he doesn't have. I'm not gonna say he doesn't have anybody, but he doesn't have his star with him, which is Jamal Murray, and then Michael Porter Jr. is out. So I just don't know. But Giannis, you know what? Again, I'm a whole strong firm to Embiid, but that Giannis, if he get it, I am not gonna be mad today.
Yeah, Giannis is having a great season, but I'm
Mm-mm.
holding firm on Joel Embiid as
Mm-hmm.
well. Now, the article referenced whether or not Doc Rivers should play Joel Embiid heavy minutes right up to the end of the season, or risk kind of sitting him a couple of games, but that also might put Joel Embiid out of the MVP race and the scoring title. I don't think Doc Rivers should sit him down. I think Joel Embiid is moving at a pretty good pace right now. Let's not ruin his momentum right into the playoffs. He's playing fantastic. Joel Embiid is still my guy for MVP.
I don't think he should either. And if the Sixers come out of this season with anything else, can they come out of it with a uh, winner in the scoring title and an MVP? I don't think they should risk it. I don't think Doc should risk it. And I don't think Joel Embiid should want to risk it. No, fight until the end. You got maybe 3 to 4 more games. Go for it and go all the way forward because it will matter for for those individual awards. And I think the fans of the Sixers need that at least, right? So yeah, no, go for it. Doc, don't play. Don't even play. Let Joel Embiid go beast in the next few games because that's how tight these races are. He can't even afford to sit down because if he does sit down and he's not injured, then he's forfeiting. He's forfeiting his ability to be able to win these 2 awards, and I don't think he wants to do that.
So the next one is the unlikely debut of Ben Simmons. I know this has been a topic that we talked about several times on this channel. I kind of already know where you stand on Ben Simmons, but I'd like to see him back this season.
He's not coming back. Ben Simmons is not returning, period. Why are we still even discussing this? Not only that, I read a report that as of April 1st, he's still, he's back to light on court workouts. What? And so you're going to come back, you on light on court workouts, you're going to come back to this intense basketball game for a Nets team that is number 10 in the East as I speak? What? No, Ben, we will celebrate you next season. I don't know how many times I got to say it.
Come on back, Ben. The only thing that concerns me is team chemistry on the court. I mean, KD and Kyrie, they're doing their thing. They're, it's just not enough, especially after watching KD and Kyrie lose to the Atlanta Hawks. Between the two of them, they shot 60 times and KD scored 55 points. It wasn't enough. The Nets need Ben Simmons if they're going to go deep. Otherwise, we might be looking at a huge disappointment for the Brooklyn Nets again.
I'm going to need Patty Mills to give me more than 0.
Oh,
I'm going to tell you that. Goodness. I'm going to he can't be on the court for 31 minutes and give me 0 points. Not Patty Mills. You were brought over to put points on the board. That's what you was brought over for. Unless I misread and he was brought over for defense. No, I mean, if you give me defense, that's the bonus. But I know for a fact you were brought over to put points on the board and you got 0 in 31 minutes. Not acceptable. So then we're talking about the Nets and they were missing Seth. So first of all, can we get Seth on the floor? Because if Seth Curry ain't playing, then that's going to be an issue. So when we're talking about how successful the Nets can be, I'm sorry, but that X factor is going to be Seth Curry.
I've said multiple times that Patty Mills suffered the most with Kyrie in and out of the lineup. And now I think we're seeing the results of that for sure. All right, now the Boston Celtics look really good right now. I mean, they're playing their best basketball of the season. But can they complete the climb as we get closer to the playoffs?
Yes, but I still maintain that they will end the season at the number 4 spot. I know right now, as we speak, they're number 3, but again, the race is so tight that if they end up at number 4, which I actually projected that they'll end up at, I think it will be okay. If we think about it, January of 2022, they were below 500. And we're talking about between that time and now at the top of April, they are actually in the 3rd spot, which gives them above 600, score or whatever. What is that now? They have finally figured out how to work together. And, first, I had a prediction earlier in the season that they should split the Jays up. I retract that. I can say it. I retract it. Hey, it is what it is, right? This season flows, ebbs and flows, and this season is amazing. So you have to change your thoughts. But anyway, so right now they're clicking on all cylinders. I think one of the things that concerns me with them going into the postseason is the absence of Williams. I ain't going to even... I ain't gonna even hold you, but that concerns me.
Oh, me too. And I have that being their only problem. Without him, he's going 4 to 6 weeks. What you're going to miss is youth, girth, and athleticism, and a challenge above the rim. I mean, Al Horford and Daniel Tice, they're 6'9". Williams is 6'9" as well, but it's a different 6'9".
Oh no! It's an athletic 6'9". Al Horford is on the tail end of his career. He's gonna give it to you. I'm not knocking his ability. Tice, maybe now that Tice will have more playing time, we will see the Tice of old with the Boston Celtics, because again, Tice was doing his thing back when I think they were in the bubble. He did really well. So maybe he'll have more time to, maybe develop what they need for him to become, to absorb some of the production. So it ain't gonna match, but absorb some of it. So at least the Boston Celtics can go deep in the postseason. But yeah, that is the only thing for me that may hold them back this season, is the absence of Williams. And that's super sad.
Yeah, he's supposed to come back somewhere around the Eastern Conference semifinals if the Boston Celtics make it, but he's going to be, kind of rusty. His rhythm is going to be off timing. So
just, what? Protect him, and we'll see him next season. He has too much. Boston Celtics, don't try to do him like y'all did Isaiah Thomas. I'm just saying, Williams, don't let them set you back.
Right.